Hello there, everybody. This is CwapPlatinum here, and today is a very special day. Today, August 24th, is the anniversary of my Let's Plays. AKA, I uploaded my very first Let's Play video, which is Super Mario Bros. 3 Part 1. And as a first Let's Play, that totally sucked. And I have been doing Let's Plays for officially 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. At least something good came out of 2020. I mean, Jesus. So, if I'm going to be completely honest, I haven't really thought of anything, really cool to do for like a 10th anniversary video. So, I figured, I just talk. Because some of you out there might not know the drastic origins of myself, or many of the other interesting stories about my other projects, or projects that I find, interesting to talk about. So, that's basically what I'm going to do. I am going to talk about some very interesting, Let's Plays that I do want to talk about because I have some stories with them. And preceding that, I'm going to talk about, how I got started in all of this. So, let's get started with how it all began. Now, picture this. Me being a junior in high school, like in 2010. Seriously, I was a junior in high school, and I am a YouTube nut. If I'm going to be perfectly honest, I was a YouTube nut already back then. I was already like a huge nerd. Like, not really a huge nerd. I had friends in high school, but, I was a good boy, basically. Not really a good high school student in some cases, but mostly I was pretty okay. I was pretty good as a high school student. I was pretty good. And, I don't really know the specifics of all of my discovering of this Let's Play format, or remember the exact date of it all. But I can trace my Let's Play origins back to, well, two people. Two people who the internet likes to call Chugga A. Conroy and Nintendo Capri Sun. Remember, the second A is silent in Chugga A. Conroy, even though I just said that. I just said the second A, clearly. I believe Chugga was doing his Let's Play of Pokemon Crystal at the time, and I just so happened to catch it at the very beginning. Like, keep in mind, this is like the time when Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver was coming out, or it was already out. And I was all over that game, but really, that game's inspiration, that game's, content is all going back to Pokemon Crystal, which he was playing. And I was enthralled. I was enthralled by his commentary, by, his team of Pokemon, the fact that he caught a shiny was a big bonus. And yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed that video series. Like, every day when I would come home from high school, I always looked forward to, one of his videos. And sure enough, when I get home, like a few hours later, if I'm not doing any homework or whatever, then I would catch a Chugga video. And yeah, that's basically how it all started. I did eventually find, Nintendo Capri Sun over that particular summer break in summer 2020. Where he was a more laid-back kind of guy, where Emil was all energetic and very informative. NCS is a very laid-back person. He liked to talk about stories, and I believe he still does. That style, I think, just worked, honestly. It just worked for some reason, and I would always listen to his voice, like, in the late hours of the night if I didn't really, sleep. if I decided to just, go to bed early or go to bed late, and I would be on my, iPod or iPhone rather, because, those were a thing back then. And I would just go onto YouTube, go to my favorites, amidst all the Nostalgia Critic videos and other such stuff. I would just, click on a Tim video, and I would listen to him play Ocarina of Time. Because that was the very first Let's Play I've ever seen from him. Now, bear in mind, I didn't see it all, but the parts that I did, they stuck with me. They really did. And wouldn't I know it, eventually I would come to meet those guys in real life. And they're really cool to hang out with. So, yeah. That's basically my inspirations. I really owe a lot to, Emil and Mr. Tim. Because without their videos, I wouldn't be, here today doing all this. So, I had an idea. What if I did that? What if I could entertain the masses? Like, it just sort of popped into my head, like, hey, maybe I can do this too. So, score, I guess. And then we cut all the way to the back end of the summer. Yes, the very back end of summer vacation. Where I was all ready to go. I was enthralled. I was ecstatic. I was ready to do this. I had the first game that I would do, Mario 3. I was very confident in doing this. And lo and behold, the false flagging saga of 2010 happened. Yes, the false flagging saga of 2010. Now, if you weren't around for those days, basically there was this group of people, and they were going around like false flagging videos because YouTube's copyright system was broken. And it still is. Da-da-da-da-da-da. But yeah, it was even more broken back in those days where you can literally just claim content as your own, and then, your channel is just basically done. You got a copyright strike, you get 3 copyright strikes, and then, you're done. But, eventually that whole thing got resolved. I was actually kind of scared to upload videos, and if I'm going to be perfectly honest, CwapPlatinum one, this account is my second one. Like, this is my second account. My first account is CWAP9900. Find it at your own risk, kids. Because there are some incredibly cringy videos on there. Like, mainly Brawl stuff. It's because Brawl was a big thing. And also random gameplay videos where apparently the most viewed video of mine was me defeating Mark Soul in Kirby Superstar Ultra as normal Kirby in 2 parts, because 11-minute time limits were a bitch, but that's not the point. The point is, that false flagging stuff really kind of scared me. Like, were they targeting Let's Players? Were they, like, doing all this stuff just to get attention? I don't know. I actually ended up following, like, some dudes who were, like, on the good side, and they were tracking down all this stuff going on. And I actually did ask, this one dude a question where it was like, hey, is it safe to do this now? Because I've been waiting to upload videos for a month, because I think I had the Mario 3 videos, like, ready to go. Or something. I don't know. I don't remember. But he did answer, yes with an asterisk. And yes with an asterisk is okay by me, I guess. So, yeah, I was a little bit, worried about that. I was like, oh god, before I get into my senior year of high school, my very last year of high school, I can't, upload what is soon to be, my passion. I'm like, oh god, please. But, very thankfully, that whole thing got, sorted out. Emil and Tim's channels came back, and I eventually was able to upload my very first Let's Play video on that very day, August 24th. So, yeah. From that day forth, it just sort of, it just sort of just happened. I just kept on, recording stuff with my old camera and my old TV and edited it all with Windows Movie Maker. You remember the Windows Movie Maker days. You remember them. It's cursed, I tell ya. So yeah, that's really all about it when it comes to, the origins of my Let's Plays. Really, nothing really too special. I just sort of gotten inspired by these two dudes who were playing video games for the internet. And, I figured I might as well do it too. So, here we are. And, keep in mind, I'm not going to talk about, all of my Let's Plays because, A, I barely remember any stories from most of them. And B, I'm really only going to be talking about the ones that really interested me, in a sense. Or ones that I did want to talk about. So, I'm going to go in order from, 1 through 9, 10 through 11, and blah, blah, blah. See what, games or Let's Plays I wanted to talk about. So, yeah. Anyway, this first line is Mario 3, Mario World, Ocarina of Time 3-Heart Run, Mario Galaxy, Pokemon Platinum, Mother 3, Pokemon Black, Pokemon Yellow, and finally, Sonic 4 Episode 1, Blind. Now, the ones I want to talk about are Mario World and Mario 3, first off, because, those were my very first ones. And would you believe me if I told you that I actually ended up finishing Mario 3 within 4 days? Yeah, I had absolutely no context of, daily uploads, so I just uploaded them as fast as I could. I really cared about quality over quantity, I guess. No, the opposite. Quantity over quality, that's what it was. I just found time recording stuff and then just putting it through the editor and then, uploading them to YouTube just like that. Those days were simpler. It's the age of camcorder LPs. I wasn't aware of, capture devices back then. I wasn't aware of Dazzle. I wasn't aware of HD PVRs. I wasn't aware of, the highly high-tech capture devices. Whatever wizardry, Emil and Tim were doing, I was like, oh my god, how do I do that? And I was like, oh hey, I have this cheap-ass camera. So I'm like, why not? I might as well point my camera at the TV screen, try to get as much of the screen as I could, and just hope for the best. And also, I had to deal with the TV brightness here and there. It was so dumb. It's pretty common knowledge that if you've been doing this for 10 years, your first project is going to suck in a big way. Because, you're not that confident in your voice, you're not that confident, you can grab everybody's attention, and, yeah, you're just like, yeah, okay, alright, okay. Yeah, it's not something to be proud of, but it's something also to be proud of, too, because, without it, you wouldn't be here, which is going to be the main theme of all this. Without X, you wouldn't be here in the Y. And Super Mario World, I'm gonna actually have to start making a bonus video list of videos that I want to eventually make, because one of those videos just so happens to cut off the end credits of Super Mario World. I'm not even joking, I ended that Let's Play prematurely just right after defeating Bowser, because I didn't want to record a part 2 and I didn't want to beat the final boss again just to hear the end credits. And also, the 15:30 time limit was a bad idea. Yeah, back in the old days of YouTube, you either had 11 minutes worth of, footage to work with, or you had 15 minutes and 30 seconds worth of footage to work with. And it totally sucked. It totally sucked because I really loved the end credit sequence of Mario World so much. And I couldn't do it because of the stupid ass time limit. Either that or my camera ran out of battery. Either one. So I just didn't want to get back. I didn't want to get back to it. I was just done with that project. So I moved on to Ocarina of Time 3 Hearts eventually. So yeah, that's probably going to be a video I'm going to have to make on my list of videos that I want to make, but, just don't have the time for it because I have other stuff to do. Now, as for Ocarina of Time 3 Heart Run, it was my first, I'm going to call videos that have well over 40 videos the big boy projects. It was my first big boy project. Or rather, videos that have, 30 or more videos to it. Like, stuff that takes, well over a month to complete when it comes to daily uploads. I call it the big boy projects. Ocarina of Time 3 Heart Run was my first big boy project. And I started it immediately after Super Mario World. That was that was the next day. After beating Mario World, or uploading the last video of Mario World. And, of course, it was a camcorder LP. It was. And, it was not the best choice. Yeah, okay. It was not the best choice for a big boy project, as it were, because 3 Heart Runs, you do it in 3 hearts. That should really be more for streams than anything. If you're going to do a 3 Heart Run, then fine, but that's not really 100%ing the game. If I'm going to be perfectly honest, I showed off every level in Mario 3. I did all 96 exits in Mario World, but this was the first time that I felt like it wasn't really complete, this 3 Heart Run LP, as it were. And I don't even remember if I had gotten all the Skulltulas or not. I really didn't. It was not the best. It was not the best in the world. I don't really go back to my old Let's Plays. I don't really watch them. I don't really see where it's at because, I just don't feel like watching them. Which leads me to, the redux or the redo. Okay, I'm looking up right now how this word is pronounced. Because is it redux or redo? Redux. Really? Redux? Google just told me redux. Redux? Okay, I'm just gonna call it remake. If Final Fantasy VII Remake can get away with that title, then so will I. Redux, I can't believe that. But anyway, yeah, this led me to the the remake of the Ocarina of Time Let's Play. Because, Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite games from my childhood. When it comes to Zelda games, it's the bottom of the totem pole, but still really good when it comes to 3D Zelda games. And that's what I've done for a very long time, 3D Zeldas. This was before I beat stuff like Link's Awakening and Blossom Tales, or maybe even considering beating Link to the Past or whatever. And, yeah, it was the bottom of the food chain for me when it comes to ranking my 3D Zeldas, but it's still one of my favorites from when I was little. I really enjoyed it as a kid. I would easily go back to that game today and just play it on my 3DS, really. And whenever I do a remake of a Let's Play, I want to make sure that I do that very game justice in my own way. I really do. I 100%ed Ocarina of Time remake. I really did. And I showed off whatever I could show off. I talked about whatever I could talk about. And yeah, aside from, the quality obviously being better, my style has really changed. So that's what I classify as, a remake of a Let's Play, in that I would just do that game justice, Of course, it eventually would eventually lead to me Let's Playing Pokemon Emerald for the channel. And I'm also thinking about doing, well, obviously I already announced it, but yeah, I'm also going to be doing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition like next year. Like probably by the end of next year, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, because I have like a whole bunch of other Let's Plays down the road. Something that I never thought would happen. But yeah, if I ever wanted to remake a Let's Play, I want to make sure I do it right. So yeah, that's basically Ocarina of Time for that. I could tell you some of the other stories from other Let's Play projects, like Super Mario Galaxy was basically done in half camcorder, half dazzle quality, because, well, basically the reason why that Let's Play took so long to finish was that my old Wii died. My old Wii died, so I eventually got another one that would read game discs, and eventually I got like a dazzle, and that very first Let's Play that dazzle was used on was Sonic 4 Episode 1 Blind. For Pokemon Platinum, it was like the biggest Let's Play I've ever done, and I kind of want to do a remake of that. Like, I have a list of remakes that I possibly want to do. Like, Pokemon Platinum might possibly be on that, because not only is that series like really old, but there was a lot of things that I didn't really know that I really wish I did, and some things that I really, really, really wish that I wanted to show off. Like, the Sinnoh Underground was a lot more expansive than I thought, or, a proper look at the Battle Frontier would be nice, instead of just skimming it over and, doing all that. Like, an actual video of the Battle Frontier, like I did with, the Pokemon Emerald one. Mother 3, I stole Emil's commentary, I'm sorry, near the end. Pokemon Black, possibly, but it'll probably be a stream series, really. Pokemon Yellow, I caught Mewtwo and a Pokeball. And then there's Sonic 4 Episode 1, which, right now it's a fine game. Like, I thought it was good back then, but, it's fine. Sonic 4 is fine. And maybe eventually I might continue Let's Play 9 as just Sonic 4, just combining them both. But, I highly doubt it will happen. Highly doubt it. Okay, so these next batches are from 10 to 19 are Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon Ruby, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, Pokemon Crystal, Kirby 64, Mario 64, Majora's Mask, Limbo, To the Moon, and New Super Mario Bros. U. Now, out of all those I want to talk about, I actually want to talk about Skyward Sword. Because, well, if you recall, I did actually do a couple of streams of Skyward Sword. Well, it's mainly because, well, here's the thing. At the time of, recording Skyward Sword, my video game opinions weren't really formulated enough. And my crazy little mind will just think, like, this new latest game is, like, the best one in the series. Like, oh my god, look at this. Look at this, Skyward Sword. You got, the one-to-one sword movement. You got really cool dungeons, really cool boss fights, and actually really great story that involves, Link and Zelda as friendship, and that was like the best thing. And the music is really good, and the art style is so great. Oh my god, this game can't possibly do wrong. I mean, of course that was the age of, the olden days, Like, I didn't have a Twitter back then. I didn't really have, any sort of access to social media aside from, Facebook, where even then I would really only use it to connect to my personal Facebook to really connect with my friends at the time. Like, during high school and early college years. But, eventually my gamer brain grew in. And, Skyward Sword, I kind of sugar-coated it in that Let's Play. Like, I thought, everything was just so good at the time. And, the good stuff in that game is still really good. Like, okay, so my gamer brain back then was like, this is the best Zelda game. And now my gamer brain now is like, Majora's Mask is the greatest game of all time, next to Xenoblade Chronicles. And I was like, yeah, boy, get Skyward Sword out of here. Okay, so if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I still really like Skyward Sword. Like, the relationship between Link and Zelda in that game is really good. Like, it's not just, hey, Link, Zelda is princess, go save. No, they are actually established as friends, and that is really cool. Link actually has a reason to save her, rather than just, hey, Link, you want to hit that princess ass? Well, there's the Zelda, go and save her, doopy doopy doop. And I still really find the dungeons to be really cool. The stuff in Lanayru is the best, by the way. Like, if there's one consistency when it comes to Skyward Sword, it's Lanayru. Lanayru is awesome. And the first 2/3 of the game, they're awesome. I still stand by my point that Skyward Sword's first 66% of the game is still really great stuff. With some asterisks. But, all in all, still really great. It's just that the last third, 33%, or, I guess, 25%, rather, is not really as good, but still fine. It's just that I really don't care about, the Faron and Elden Dragon songs. Lanayru still wins, by the way, which is why I'm showing off more action-packed footage of it. I can acknowledge Skyward Sword's flaws now. I come into Skyward Sword now with a more refined brain. I still really like the motion controls. I still really like the world and the, I guess, story and dungeons and bosses. I still really like those. Those still hold up exceptionally well. With a few exceptions. The Imprisoned. But, I find the vast majority of Skyward Sword to be really great. It's just that I can acknowledge the flaws now, and I really shouldn't have sugarcoated that Let's Play, if I'm going to be really, really honest with you. So, that's why I have, these streams to sort of, get through the game and all that. So, yeah. It's all good stuff. It's all good. Now, if you want to talk about a Zelda game I'm proud of doing, it's Majora's Mask. Yes, from one Zelda game to the other. I 100%ed that game off of pure memory. I might have looked up a guide on some things, but for the vast majority of Majora's Mask, I 100%ed that game from just pure memory because I played the hell out of Majora's Mask so much when I was a kid. Just so much. And I continued to play it. And yeah, I just sort of knew where every heart piece, where every upgrade was, every stray fairy, you know. Majora's Mask is still a really great game to this very day. Like, a lot of it still holds up tremendously, and I mean tremendously well to this day. And one particular video of the set called Romani Ranch Alternatives got way more views than any other. I was so confused, but I probably imagine that not many people have made a video like that, like where you get to see like the different outcomes of Romani Ranch, like what happens if you let them get to the cows, or you know, what happens, you know, if this thing happens or if that thing happens, you know. There was just so many outcomes to the Romani Ranch thing that I just had to show them off. And very thankfully, that video worked out really well, so yeah, it was all good. And I'm honestly really proud of that video. I'm really proud. It was like my first really, really big video that I worked on for a Let's Play, and I'm very proud of it. It worked out very, very well. And just the fact that I, you know, 100%ed this game, mostly through my memory, is just a treat. It was a real treat. And honestly, I couldn't be happier with it. It's really awesome. Limbo and To the Moon are the only indie games outside of Undertale that I have Let's Played to this day. And I want to do more, honestly. I want to do more indie games, but I just haven't played enough of them to really consider them, you know, in my Let's Play pantheon, I guess. Pokemon Crystal, never record when you're sick. For the first video, anyway. Mario 64, I might possibly do a, you know, remake of that with Mario 64 DS. Because that's technically the complete version. You know, maybe one day. Possibly. I swear, one day I will Let's Play New Super Luigi U. Alright, so these next few are interesting. From 20 to 29. 29! We have Mega Man 2 Blind, Sailor Moon Another Story, Super Return of the Jedi, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Pokemon Leaf Green, Sonic 06, Mega Man X Blind, Super Mario 3D World, Final Fantasy IV, and Star Fox Semi-Blind. Now, let me talk about a good old-fashioned decision of not doing a proper blind Let's Play. Oh boy, do I ever suck at Mega Man. Yeah, Mega Man 2 and Mega Man X were both my very first Mega Man games I ever played, and since then I have played, you know, Mega Man 3, Mega Man 4, Mega Man 5, Mega Man X2, X4. You know, those are all great games in their own right. But you're gonna suck at Mega Man games. You're gonna really, really suck at Mega Man games, boy, because I don't really remember much from Mega Man 2, really. I just sort of just played it and ran with it. And, you know, I had a good time with Mega Man 2. Mega Man 2's really good. It's really good. But Mega Man 3 is clearly better. Don't at me. It's really Mega Man X that I have the most cringe-worthy factors for. Out of all the Let's Plays I've ever done on this channel, Mega Man X Blind is probably by far the worst I've ever done. Because I just abused save states to hell. Like, keep in mind, this was before the days where Mega Man X, or before the days where I could have multiple copies of Mega Man X on my Wii U, my Wii, if it was ever on the Wii Virtual Console at all. This was like years, and also this is years before, you know, SNES Classic. So, yeah. I sucked at Mega Man X. I am so sorry. I will never ever apologize enough for my performance in Mega Man X at all. I was raging. I really don't know what came over me with that. Like, I just absolutely sucked at Mega Man. Like, even right now, I'm just, like, face-palming in... Like, I'm face-palming physically. Because I look at it, like, 13 videos, yeah, that was, like, the worst luck. And it was just, oh my god, I abused save states. I didn't know the X upgrades existed. Like, the fact that I got to the final boss and beat it, the fact that I got to Sigma and beat him without using any of the X upgrades or knowing they even existed was probably my personal achievement. But otherwise, you know, I just didn't really have the energy to do blind Let's Plays afterwards. I really didn't. Like, don't get me wrong, Mega Man X is still, like, a really, really good game. Like, I would recommend it, honestly, to anyone who's really good at run-and-gun platformers. It's just, don't do them for a blind Let's Play at all. Do not. Just do it for a stream. Just save it for a stream. Because it will save you so much trouble in the long run. So, yeah, I don't really think fondly of my first ever experience with Mega Man X, but I still really, really enjoy Mega Man X. Like, hey, I got both Legacy Collections, Volume 1 and 2 for a reason. Now, this is probably still my greatest editing achievement ever. And that would be Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. Now, of course, back then, I did acknowledge that, you know, I played this game a lot. I have well over 10 years of experience at this point. I have all the knowledge that I shouldn't have of Sonic 06. Believe me, I shouldn't. Like, I know of some really cool tips and tricks on how to glitch out levels. I really do. But when it came to that Let's Play, it was the most editing I ever had to do in my life. And I made sure in part 1 that I would show off the loading screens just to see how annoying they were. And then for the rest of the Let's Play, I edited out all the loading screens. At least the ones that we have seen for the first time. Like, if we've seen one for the first time, I would just let it load for like a quick second and then edit it to, you know, the next part of the gameplay. Let me tell you, the Trials of Soliana were the biggest pain in my ass. Sonic and Silver have to do the Trials of Soliana in order to get to Kingdom Valley, and that just totally sucked when it came to editing, because it was on my very first laptop. And let me tell you, VideoPad and Windows Vista and my crap PC didn't get along very well. So I had to wait for videos to get completely loaded into the editor so I could, you know, have a nice smooth time editing. And that's the problem with VideoPad these days, is just the videos have to load still. Even on my new Epic Gamer PC, it still needs to load videos, and I have no idea why that is, but I can at the very least still work on videos technically while they're still loading, so I guess that's an improvement. But believe me, editing Sonic 06, like cutting out all the loading times, was like the biggest editing job I ever had to do. But, you know, I pushed forward. I really did push forward, and I eventually, you know, beat it. Along with getting in some bonus episodes in there as well. I don't know, man. Like, Sonic 06 is just an anomaly of a game. I don't know why it could ever exist in such a state where the fans have to effectively fix it. I don't know, man. I really don't know why this game exists or why I play it from time to time. And even then, it's only like in short bursts. But, you know, it's something. It's definitely a video game that's out there. Like, I had to dig up my old Xbox 360, and it's not even on Xbox One, so I can't really do that because Sega freaking delisted in order to increase the quality of the brand, as it were. I'm just thankful I didn't play the PS3 version. Now, you probably saw that there was, you know, experimental stuff in there. 20 through 30 for my Let's Plays was more of my experimental phase, where not only in terms of my series representation, it was just mainly, you know, Mario, one Earthbound game, Pokemon, Sonic, Mario again, Zelda, Kirby, and 2 indies. And this whole timeline of Let's Plays 20 through 30 was my more experimental phase, in that I would play a Mega Man game. I would play a game based on licensed media, which was honestly the only game that I have played, still played to this day, that is based on licensed media. Sailor Moon: Another Story. It's a pretty good RPG. It's pretty good. But, like, I played a fan translation, and also, why was it a literal translation? How can someone play this game with knowledge of Sailor Moon, the English dub, back in those days, where the Deke dub was the only one, and what the hell is a Bara Suisho or Gin Suisho? What the heck is that? What are those? Alright. Oh wait. Super Return to Jedi. Yeah, that was also another one where it was based on a licensed property. And, you know, Super Return to Jedi is one of my favorites. One of my favorite Star Wars games. And I want to do another Star Wars game because there's a lot of good ones out there. I would also do a Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy IV, which was and is the essential Final Fantasy to start off with. It's like I said, you should play Final Fantasy IV if you want to get into Final Fantasy. I say this as I start with 6, and 6 is one of my favorite games of all time. And then for number 29, I would do Star Fox Semi-Blind. I still need to make a bonus video about the vortexes, I guess, that you encounter. I really don't know what that is. I'll get to it eventually, maybe. I'll possibly do a video on Star Fox 2 if I can. Well, actually, no. I already did a stream of that. Never mind. 30 through 39. We're getting into the modern age now. From 30 to 39 is Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, Sonic Unleashed, the HD version, Subspace Emissary from Brawl, Banjo-Kazooie, Mario Kart 8, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, technically, Xenoblade Chronicles, Sonic Lost World, say that name to scare Greg, Ocarina of Time, Redix. I already talked about that, so that doesn't count. Undertale, and finally, Sonic Adventure. The only one I want to talk about is Xenoblade Chronicles. Because, okay, so you remember how I said that I stole commentary technically from Emil? Well, I sort of did it near the end of Xenoblade Chronicles, and I'm sort of regretting that. Like, okay. Doing a Let's Play of a very, very, very huge JRPG takes a lot, and I mean a lot of time and effort, and possibly over an hour of recording. I get that. Like, I really enjoyed making Xenoblade Chronicles, putting it all together and doing just almost every side quest. But honestly, I kind of wish I 100%ed it, because at the time with Xenoblade, I just feel completely satisfied just doing the main story and nothing more after that. Like, completing Colony 6 reconstruction, getting all my characters to level 99, getting to those side quests that have interesting lore about the world, and resolving some issues with the story. Like, I can't really say it because of spoilers, but resolving, anything relating to the characters, getting the skill, getting all the skill branches, all the fit skill branches, all that stuff. I just didn't really feel like doing that because I just felt really satisfied just beating the main story and nothing more. And part of that is just like, they really expect you to be level 90 for some of the areas, and I was like, nope. Which is kind of why I don't really like the post game as much as I do the main story, because the main story is still amazing. But finding a good route to the post game is kind of maddening, if that's a word. I would rather just go do some good old-fashioned grinding to make all of my characters level 99, get all of my affinity maxed out so I can view those heart-to-hearts. And, possibly, then I can possibly do those particular side quests where they seriously have you killing level 90 plus unique monsters. I'm like, nope! Seriously, Xenoblade, what is up with you? I love you, but what is up with you? So that's kind of why I want to eventually, remake Xenoblade, because, well, for one thing, the quality is terrible. It's absolutely terrible, and this game, even on the Wii, looks really amazing. And thanks to Definitive Edition being out and having all these crazy quality of life improvements, I would honestly go back to it and let's play it again. And also make my commentary my own this time. And record in HD. And also play Future Connected. It's going to be a really long let's play, believe you me. I am sorry, but I'm also not sorry in advance whenever I get around to it. So, yeah. Xenoblade DE might come at the end of 2021 or possibly maybe even start 2022. Maybe. We'll see what happens down the line. We will see, indeed. Don't really have anything interesting to talk about when it comes to this particular line, for short stuff. Like, possibly I can do a stream series of Sonic Unleashed on the Wii, where I just go through all the levels. I already did my Mario Kart 8 Let's Play completely. Undertale, I'm surprised that barely anybody has done an actual Let's Play where they played the game before and they give out all this information. And because the Switch version is out, I probably have to do that one video with the secret boss that I still haven't encountered yet. And Sonic Adventure was the very first game that I recorded from Steam. So, yeah. That's pretty good. And also on my previous laptop, where, it's good, but it can't play Halo. Okay, this ended up being a lot smoother than I thought, actually. Because, well, we only have a couple more lines to go for this. So, from 40 to 49, we have Kirby's Return to Dreamland EX. Already talked about Pokemon Emerald. Halo. South Park's Stick of Truth, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Blind, Sonic Forces, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, and Star Fox Zero. Now, the only one that I want to talk about when it comes to this line is Halo. Because, oh my god. Because, oh my god, how did this become so popular? How? Okay, so I just thought, Halo, I bought the game at MagFest. I bought the Combat Evolved Anniversary for Xbox 360 at MagFest one year, the best convention ever. And I'm like, why not? I might as well, play Halo for the masses. Why not? I can't imagine anything going wrong except for the library level. And the weird thing is, I keep getting comments, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. How? What are you people doing? Are you crazy? Like, why are you watching me playing Halo? I don't know Halo. I mean, I appreciate the advice and all, but why is this video getting so many views? How did that one video where Captain Keyes gets assimilated by the flood get so many views? I'm like, what? That was my precise reaction. Like, how did this become popular? I mean, I get, like, plenty of comments from Halo fans where they don't really see a lot of people playing Halo blind, I guess. Like, first time reaction. So, thanks, I guess. Like, I really just did Halo 1 for the fun. I didn't imagine it would be so popular, and I didn't imagine anyone else asking, constantly, where's Halo 2? That game haunted me for like years and years and years until eventually in Let's Play number 52, where I would do Halo 2 Anniversary on my Xbox One. Like, that was basically the main reason why I wanted to wait for Halo 2 Anniversaries, because I wanted to get an Xbox One. And thankfully, I got one for Christmas. And thankfully, Master Chief Collection is on Game Pass forever, because Halo is the only game on Xbox. So, yeah. So, yeah. Halo is a rather strange one when it comes to that. Like, I really like how people are just watching it and commenting on it and giving me advice and complaining about what I did wrong. Like, I really appreciate it, but it comes from Halo of all games. Like, Halo, I've really only played the multiplayer before even tackling any of the campaigns, and watching my brother play through some of the Halo 4 campaign, but really, it's just, wow. It's honestly amazing. And yeah, Halo has maybe become a staple of my channel, I guess, now. I really don't know, but, I'm glad people are watching me play Halo. And yeah, I'm really glad that people are really enjoying it, giving me advice, and just keeping on watching it every time I get to another campaign in the Halo universe. So, yeah. Thank you for watching me play Halo. I guess I really owe a lot to Halo now, do I? I mean, it's on PC. So, yes. I guess the other project that I could potentially talk about is Star Fox Zero, because that's a really weird project that I wanted to have work for the longest time. Like, in Star Fox Zero, I still stand by the point that Star Fox Zero deserves a second chance on the Nintendo Switch. And, I find it to be good. Like, one of the better Star Fox games aside from 64 and Assault, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. It's just that whether or not the motion controls work with you or don't, that's entirely up to you. But they work for me. I really like shooting in that game, especially on Rails levels. And the chicken walker thing, that's really cool. So, yeah, I really like Star Fox Zero, and I've wanted to make it work for the longest time, but the voices coming from the gamepad completely sucks. I don't know why that's a thing. But very thankfully, thanks to a certain video maker or content creator by the name of Omega Evolution, you might have heard of them. They make videos about, pure gameplay, no commentary, nothing else, 60 FPS, 4K. He basically told me that, you just connect the Wii U gamepad to the capture card, or at the very least do the headphone jack stuff, and then, there you go. You can technically have gamepad audio with the direct feed footage. So that works. That really works. So I guess without him, that Let's Play wouldn't be possible. So thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. And now I want to talk about Ni no Kuni. So Ni no Kuni is a game where I'm facing an Okami situation. And by Okami situation, I mean Chugga Conroy Okami situation. Because Ni no Kuni is now out for every major platform except for Xbox One. It's out on... The version I played was the original version of Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch, which is the PS3 and Switch version, where it's all 30 FPS. The Switch version is based on the PS3 version. However, recently, it came out remastered, and I use that in quotes because really all that's changed is the 60 FPS on PS4 and PC. So I'm sort of conflicted here. On the one hand, you know, I guess this re-release or remaster doesn't really matter if it doesn't add new content, so I don't know. I really don't know. Nobody knows about what actual new content is in the remaster version. All that really is like an upscale and 60 FPS. But I don't know. What is it? If there's new content, I have to cover it. And also, there's still a post game that I have to cover as well, but now that it's on Nintendo Switch, I kind of want to record it from there. So, yeah. I don't know. It's a really conflicting thing that I have, but the rest of it, but you know, the rest of the project that I found was really good. Again, it's a big JRPG that I've done, and I wanted to do it for my 50th Let's Play because Ni no Kuni is a very special game to me. I really, really love that game. And I wanted to show off whatever I could show off. So, yeah. I do the game justice to one of my favorite JRPGs of the past, you know, decade, I guess. And I felt I did a pretty good job with that one. I really, really enjoyed myself making it. And also really, really hated how acoustic-y my room was at the time. So I legitimately had to get a cardboard box to use as a makeshift sound booth. And I sat on a stool and recorded my commentary from inside the makeshift thing. It was weird. It was an experience, but it was weird. Much like Ni no Kuni itself. It's a weird game, but you gotta love it. You really gotta love it. Ni no Kuni is currently the last majorly big boy project that I have worked on. And by majorly, I mean it's a really, really freaking big JRPG. And if I'm gonna be honest, I felt like I needed like a huge break after all that. I really did. And when I wanted to get back to Let's Plays, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do Earthbound next. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be ready for it. I'm gonna be good. But for whatever reason, I just really didn't have the mindset for it. For the first time in my life, I didn't really have the energy to Let's Play because I was streaming on Twitch at the time. And I don't know, I couldn't really find the energy to actually sit my ass down and record, you know, these games. And for the first time in my life, I felt like maybe I should stop. maybe I should just, stop this Let's Plays and just continue on with streams. Like, I couldn't really explain it, but I just didn't feel like going back to Let's Plays until I was really, really ready to do it. So I took like a big break from all that, like a quarter of a year. I just didn't really have, all the time and energy to do it because I had conventions to go to, I had streams to keep up with, and other games to play, really. But when it came to Let's Plays, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. But eventually, I got back to it. I got back to it with Sonic Mania, which is, well, one of the greats. One of the great ones. That was the way to ease me back into the Let's Playing world, even though I was, busy with all my streams. Because streaming was just so much fun. I mean, I don't really do it so often now because, well, everyone's home and they're using the internet, and I can't really do streams. Well, maybe I can test streams on my new computer now that I have it, and it's not screwing up with my internet a lot. But, Sonic Mania, I just eased my way back into it with that. And then eventually, I got the energy back. I got, like, the big creative juices back. Just one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do Halo 2. So, yeah. That led to Halo 2. And then, eventually, it would go on to be, more big boy projects for me. And by big boy projects, I mean Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, Metal Gear Solid, which is probably the last Metal Gear game I'm ever gonna do, Halo 3 and ODST Blind. I made a playlist of all the Halos. Halo Reach Blind, which I dubbed the Big Boy Project because, it's a Halo game and it's blind. And then I boarded another series train with the Half-Life games. Half-Life Blind was a really good one. And then I finally did Earthbound in the middle of all this crazy world burning. And while I was feeling so down with the fact that I'm just going to be stuck in my house, just doing nothing with everybody else home, and I had to record at nighttime because people are going to make noise upstairs, and I lost sleep from my recordings. I was so tired. I was just so tired from recording all the time. But it was worth it because Earthbound was such a great game. I'd forgotten how great it was. So that gave me hope that maybe this won't be so bad. Then I did Donkey Kong 64, which was an undertaking of itself, because I had to 100% it, and 100%ing that game is kind of a nightmare. And, of course, currently going on is Super Mario Odyssey, one of my favorite games ever made. And just the fact that I'm doing all these really awesome games during this dark and difficult time, where the world is on fire and everyone is forced to stay home, wear masks, do all that crazy jazz, and stay clean. At the very least, if I'm gonna lose sleep, I am going to lose sleep playing some of my favorite games. And possibly some more along the way. And potentially some more exciting games beyond that. Seriously though, this hobby right here is, and I'm going to reaffirm this, possibly the best thing that has ever happened to me. And without Let's Playing, I could have met so many great friends. Made so many relationships happen. Met all of the people that I've watched on YouTube, like beyond just the Runaway Guys crowd. And I wouldn't go to all these really cool conventions that I would also vlog, like, you know, the Otakons, the MagFests, the PAX East, the Comic Cons. Even though I haven't been to a Comic Con yet. Northeast Comic Con doesn't count. But, yeah. This hobby is really awesome. And I can't imagine why I would ever think of giving it up. Other than just lack of motivation, or maybe I was in a bad state of mind to come back to it because streams were really fun and really great. So, I'm going to continue this. I'm going to continue this, and I'm going to continue planning. I'm going to continue recording all the good stuff. And keep on talking about, you know, the best games ever made. And even remake some more along the way. And I'm just going to keep at it. I'm going to keep at this hobby until eventually my brain decides that I should stop. So, yeah. That's about it. I can't talk. I really love Let's Plays. God, what? Yeah, if there's one thing that I haven't stopped doing is stop being dyslexic for my life. So we'll just end it. We'll just end it there. And Mario Odyssey will continue tomorrow as scheduled. But yeah. Thanks for the 10 years of Let's Plays, and I hope to continue making more. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on, and thank you for watching. Oh yeah, there was one other Let's Play that I didn't mention, actually. And it's not even part of the main timeline of Let's Plays, honestly. And that is Sonic CD. Why didn't I Let's Play the Steam version blind? That version is just so much better.